Hello, this is a presentation for drug recognition experts on the Penlights that we use for our darkroom evaluations. If you're looking for either a replacement Penlight or you're looking for a upgrade from the one that you have now and you're having a tough time finding a new Penlight, I put together a short presentation on 8 different Penlights that may help you in your search for a new Penlight. Hi, my name is Nick Place. My DRE number is 11379, and I've been in DRE since 2004. And for a long time, I had a nice Penlight, and it worked great up until about 6 months ago when it stopped working. And I had a heck of a time trying to find a replacement for my Penlight. And in my quest to find a new Penlight, it took me a couple before I was able to find a suitable replacement. And I thought if I had a heck of a time finding a replacement, so do other DREs. So I asked around, I got some recommendations from others on Facebook. I did my own research and I came up with, and I went out and got 8 different Penlights, and I'd like to share a review with you on those 8 different Penlights. So if you're ever in the market for a new Penlight or an upgrade, hopefully you don't have to go through some of the headaches that I did trying to find a replacement. I want to mention just a couple of quick disclaimers because I don't want there to be any confusion what this project was about. I went out and I did this on my own because I want to save DREs and others the time, money, and frustration it took me to find a Penlight. So this isn't a project that is a set of rules or guidelines or a list of must-buy Penlights from IACP or NHTSA or some other government agency. I'm not an eye doctor or a mechanical engineer, so some of the opinions here are of my own, but I know some people are going to question, well, why should I listen to this guy? I'm very passionate about being a DRE. I do a fair amount of evals every year. I like to teach this stuff. I went through course manager school, and I read a lot of DRE stuff both in books and online that it's not my first rodeo holding up a Penlight. I like to think I have enough experience to know what I'm doing and to give you a list of Penlights that I'm very confident that if you go through and review this, you'll be able to find one that works. But even if you don't agree with everything I say, at least you have a starting point in your search, and all it really cost you was a few minutes. For this project, I went out and I got 8 different Penlights. Some of these I went out on my own and I had some issues with, and I'll explain some of those. Others I got from recommendations off of the National DRE Facebook page, and I included those Penlights in this project. So thanks to those people who gave those recommendations. Most of the lights are going to be the traditional incandescent bulbs, though I do have a couple of LED lights included in here. And something I wanted to talk about real quick is for a long time I heard not to use LED lights because they're too bright, and that's the case for some of them, and I'll explain which ones those were. But really what you're looking for is an appropriate LED light. And when I emailed Dr. Siddick, that's what he mentioned, and he also mentioned something about the comfortable test. So what that is if you can't look at a light for 15 seconds because you have significant discomfort, then don't expect someone to either. So when I reference the comfortable test, that's what I'm getting at, is if I looked at it for 15 seconds and I just couldn't stand it, then it didn't pass the comfortable test. And for each of these Penlights, you can find them on Amazon. The Tox Optics, I have the link for their website, and I'll bring that up when we talk about their Penlight, and then any other technical data or relevant info for each Penlight. I wanted to just quickly mention this diagram that was sent to me by Prestige Medical, and also I just wanted to thank the manufacturers of these Penlights for all of them. When I had questions, they did a great job answering them, and they were real patient with me. So Prestige Medical sent me this Penlight chart of the Penlights they manufacture and the lumen or brightness rating for each of them. Though, I just want to mention this as a caution. Both Dr. Siddick and the manufacturers stated that even though they have a brightness rating for each of these Penlights, each Penlight is going to be a little bit different. Now, they should end up in this range that you see here for these and for each one that I have listed in this presentation, but there's no way of guaranteeing a precise brightness rating for each Penlight when they come off the line. So just keep that in mind when you see the different brightness ratings for each of these Penlights, that they're not all going to be the exact same brightness. Let's get started here. Just the standard disposable Penlight. You could find this on any medical equipment website. They're definitely on Amazon. They're pretty cheap, and I think that's why a lot of them get them, or why a lot of people recommended them to me. So you can get a pack of 6 for $8. But I just had too many problems with these Penlights. One, I thought the light was too inconsistent, and two, the connection when you click the metal clip to the Penlight itself was too unsteady and inconsistent. And sometimes it looked like somebody had rebound dilation just with how much this Penlight flickered, when I knew that was not the case. This is where I started with my Penlight search. Again, it was a cheap option, and I had some that were available to me, but I just didn't like them, and this is what started the search for something else. So I guess if you're in a jam, this could be something that you could use, but I wouldn't recommend something because there are better options out there. The next 2 Penlights were recommended to me by Don Decker on the Facebook page when I reached out looking for a replacement Penlight, so thanks for that. The first one of these is the Prestige Medical 280 Penlight. You may see this advertised as the German diagnostic Penlight, I think because it's made in Germany. But yeah, the lumen rating on this one, 4 to 5 lumens. I didn't think that it was terribly too bright. I thought the brightness rating was pretty consistent with some of the other ones, though I thought the bulb focus was maybe a little too wide and kind of bled across the face, where some of those other ones had a nice tight focus and hit that eye socket really well, where this one was a little too wide. Now, some of that could be operator error on my part, and I didn't focus it correctly. But the nice thing about this Penlight too, some of those other Penlights are kind of the cheaper plastic ones. This one's a nice metal design, and it doesn't seem as cheaply made as some of those other ones. So that's a nice thing, and I think that's kind of why it has that higher price point at $23.16. So if you're looking for something a little bit better than those cheaper plastic ones, this may be a Penlight to look into. The next recommendation was the American Diagnostic Corporation Penlight 352 reusable Penlight. I also like this one. The price is right, just under $4 last time I checked on Amazon. I like this Penlight because I thought, one, it had excellent focus, and two, it wasn't too bright. The manufacturer gave it a brightness rating of 600 lux. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what that is, and I'm not a mechanical engineer to convert that. But just, again, using the comfortable test, this Penlight easily passed that. It was not uncomfortable to have in your eye for 15 seconds. When we field tested this during the DRE spring school here in Wisconsin, we like that the bulb was pushable. So when you did your near total darkness check, you could actually push the bulb down, and it had a little give to it, and it helped get a really good estimate of the pupil size in near total darkness. So again, a pretty good option at $4, especially if you're looking to buy in bulk, or you're looking for a little bit better upgrade than the standard disposable Penlight. Here's another Penlight from the American Diagnostic Corporation. This one is model number 80352Q, the Penlight reusable Penlight, so an offshoot of the previous one. The price is right on this one, just under $5 last time I checked on Amazon. Bottom line, I would not recommend this particular Penlight. I'm sure it's good in some applications, but for DRE purposes, my opinion, it's a little too bright. When we shine this light into people's eyes for 15 seconds, or if you shine this into your eye for 15 seconds, the light on this one is way too bright, and I wouldn't recommend this particular Penlight for DRE purposes. The Welch Allen halogen Penlight, I had a recommendation on the Facebook page when I asked around, and then when I spoke to DREs in Wisconsin, this is a pretty popular one here. The price is a little high. It's about $70 on a lot of medical equipment websites, and then Amazon recently had a sale where it was just under $50, though you will see this one often out of stock because it is popular in the medical profession. When I read some reviews on medical professional websites on this particular Penlight, they like this Penlight not only for checking people's pupils. It is a high quality Penlight, and it also brings out a lot of the details in a person's skin when doctors and nurses are checking people over. So I can see for DRE purposes, when we check oral cavity and nasal cavity for signs of drug abuse, this Penlight with that halogen bulb is going to bring out some of that detail where maybe some of the other Penlights may not do as well. Though the one warning I will give for this Penlight is the bulb does get hot to the touch when you're doing your near total darkness pupil check. So when you keep your finger or thumb over this Penlight, it will get hot after that time period. So just something to be aware of if you go with this Penlight. All right, next up, the Opaway LED Penlight. After my issues with the disposable Penlights, these were the first two that I purchased. I purchased a warm light LED and then a bright white LED Penlight. Now the price is right, $8 a piece. But what I found is these Penlights are too bright. Also, if you look at the Prestige medical Penlight chart that I had in the beginning, those Penlights also have a little bit brighter lumen rating, and some of the other Penlights that are commonly sold on some of these websites like Amazon also are a little too bright. Now, there may be an LED Penlight out there that is suitable for DRE purposes, but again, I thought they were too bright. The only Penlight, LED Penlight I found that was good enough was the Tox Optics X3, and I'll explain that one a little bit. That one is a LED Penlight, but I think just your common garden variety LED Penlights, they might be good for medical setting, but I think for what we need it for in regards to DRE purposes, I think they're just a little too bright. I had a recommendation on the DRE Facebook page for this Penlight from the California Narcotics Officer Association. They sell this Penlight along with some other gear on their website, so you can check them out there. The price was right. That's why I got this. It was $8. When I received the Penlight, it doesn't seem like a bad Penlight at all. The light wasn't terribly too bright that would be uncomfortable for any 15 seconds. Though the one thing I would recommend if you would purchase this Penlight is you're going to need to add some type of modification to this Penlight. So something like tape, like an electrical tape, to block out this light that escapes from the tip of it. Otherwise, when you're doing your darkroom check, when you simply putting your finger or thumb over the tip of the Penlight, there's going to be too much light that escapes, and I think, again, my opinion, that it's going to impact your near total darkness check. But overall, I don't think there's anything wrong with this Penlight. And in fact, when some of our instructors looked at different Penlights for the spring school here in Wisconsin, we went with this Penlight just because we liked it. We liked the specs on it, and the price was right that we could buy it for all of the candidates with the budget that we had. All right, and the last Penlight that I have featured is the Tox Optics X3. Now, I think most DREs have heard of this Penlight mainly because of the patent pending timing system for the HGN test. And I think from what I've heard around the country is, this is where some DREs shy away from this Penlight, mainly because they don't think they need it. I'll be honest, I like the timing system. For me, it's just a good review to make sure I'm doing things right, and second, it's a good teaching tool. I like that I can use this for teaching SFSTs or mainly teaching air ride, and if I come across someone with bad habits, it's just an additional tool that I can use to hopefully break those bad habits. The other thing I like about the timing system is there is a 15, 30, and 90-second timer with this. Okay, so for example, using the white medical pen lamp, you can hit the 15-second timer and use that for your 15-second direct light check. The 30-second timer I found useful instead of using my second-hand watch, I can use the 30-second timer for the one-leg stand test. And then again, I mentioned before I had a hard time finding a good LED pen lamp. This pen lamp, when I spoke to the owner of the company, Roger, he said a lot of work went in behind the scenes to make sure that these light settings were just right. Again, most of the LED lights I looked at, they were too bright, but this, again, a lot of work went into this, and he even had the Penlight reviewed by Dr. Siddick, who said that this Penlight met the requirements and guidelines for light sources used by DREs and other officers. Now, while I did follow up with Dr. Siddick on that, and he doesn't offer an endorsement for any product, but he did say that this Penlight does meet those light requirements. So for me, that is huge. I think another thing that might shy people away is that it comes in close or just under $90 is listed on their website. For me, this Penlight replaces 3 lights that I have, and let me break this down for you with a short video on the specifications for this pen. what I want to do is just break down the Tox Optics X3. The reason for that, this is a penlight that was made for DREs, and going forward, after reviewing these different penlights, this is by far my favorite one, and this is the one I'm going to be using out in the field. And I just like to just go through and explain why. This is a lot different than your usual penlight where you hit the button, light comes on, and that's all there's to it. This has some features to it. So the on-off switch is here, and what it does is it turns on these LED lights up here. I mean, again, there we go. Okay, so it hits these. There's 6 buttons on the front. It's just starting out with the different timers. So it has a 15, 30, and 90-second timer. I mentioned before I like that 30-second timer. If you're doing like something like the one leg stand test, you can hit this and it'll buzz 3 times and those 30 seconds are up. I like that feature. If you're doing the direct light, there's a 15-second timer that you can hit with that. Reminds you when those 15 seconds are up. Another useful feature that, again, specific for DREs. And then, all right. And the HDN feature, again, one of the more controversial aspects of this penlight. I would say just give it a chance and try it out. I like it for training purposes. It has the 5 different settings that we use for the HDN test, starting with equal tracking, and then also going all the way to the end till vertical nystagmus. How it works, you hit the button, it buzzes to let you know that to start. When you get out to the side, buzzes 2 times. When you go back to the middle, buzzes again, and so on and so forth until the end, where it buzzes 3 times to let you know that you're done. Again, I like it. A good review for me, and also for teaching purposes. What's nice about this too, this red light. When I spoke to the owner of the company, he said that they put a lot of research getting this red light just right, not only for the HDN test for the person to follow, but also to do for near total darkness. So what's nice is no more putting your thumb over that bright white light to capture near total darkness. You can just use this as a standalone to go and get your pupil check in the dark room. What I thought is great, again, very DRE specific, is you hit the function button, this bottom button right here, goes right into the UV light. Again, saves me an extra tool in the dark room. And I would caution, though, if you are going to use a UV light, to check out the video produced by IACP back in 2014 that goes through the criteria for using a UV light, because if you don't do that, if you do it incorrectly, you will distort the pupil size. So make sure you check that out before using any UV light. Lastly, the direct light, again, it goes in sequence from the red to the blue to the the white light. Again, all of these were reviewed by Dr. Siddick, meets the light specifications that we need for our DRE exam, and I mentioned before about the 15-second timer. So I know this penlight is a little bit on the pricier side, but I do enough evals, I do teaching, I'm looking for a quality penlight, and this is very DRE specific. So for me, with all the features and the quality of the pen itself, it's very much worth that $90. After I did this project, here are my rankings of the different penlights that I reviewed. And at number 1, clear and away for me, was the Tox Optics X3. Listen, I think this penlight should be standard issue for all DREs. I mentioned why I like the timing system. I mentioned why I like the lights and the research that went into developing those LED lights. So even if you're not a DRE, let's say you do a lot of SFSTs, I really think that this penlight would help you out to do the job that you do. And I highly recommend you check their website or check them out on Facebook. And also, they will be at the DRE National Conference this summer in Nashville. They will be one of the vendors there. So if you want a little bit more information or see the device for yourself in person, I definitely recommend checking them out there. Next up, 2 through 5, they're all good penlights here. I would think all of them would do well for DRE purposes. So the ADC 352, I mentioned why I like the bulb on that one. The price is right. So if you're on a budget, or let's say you're ordering in bulk for your agency, or you're a course manager, I think that this penlight will do the trick for you. Same thing with the CNOA penlight, another good option, a good, has a good, nice price on it, though I would recommend putting some electrical tape on the end of it, otherwise you are going to have too much light escape. The Welch Allen, I know there are some fans of this one out there that are going to criticize it at number 4, but this is my take. I have nothing wrong with the penlight. I think that this penlight is a good quality penlight. However, if you are a DRE and you're already spending at least $50, if not $70 on this penlight, why not get the Tox Optics? It's a better penlight and it's made for DREs. So that's why I put it at number 4. The Prestige Medical 280, nothing wrong about that penlight. If you're maybe looking for something middle of the road-ish, slightly above some of the cheaper options here, that's a good Penlight to go with. Nothing wrong with it there. And then number 6, I have the standard disposable Penlight. If you're a DRE who does a lot, who is very busy, listen, I do my fair share of evals. I like to teach, and the disposable Penlights just don't take the abuse that I give it. So I would recommend that for the disposable Penlights, maybe keep 1 or 2 of them in your bag. If something happens, like let's say you have a battery go out on your main Penlight, you got 1 or 2 of these guys waiting in the wings to act as a backup. And just wrapping up, the LED lights that I looked at, I thought they were too bright. Though that doesn't mean all LED lights are bad, especially one like the X3 I mentioned above. So just do your due diligence when checking out an LED light. And I mentioned before the ADC 352Q. I thought that one was just a little too bright. But again, these are just my opinion on the research I did and my rankings here. There are six Penlights you can go with the top one, in my opinion, easily being the X3. If you are a DRE or you're somebody looking for a new Penlight, hopefully now you have some options available, either for a replacement Penlight or just an upgrade. I like to thank people who gave me recommendations. I really wish, I know there's more out there than 8 Penlights, but that's really all my budget could allow me to do. So I'm just keep other recommendations in mind too if you're looking for a Penlight, because I'm not the sole authority on Penlights. If you like this video, please look up my YouTube channel, look up Route 961. I'm going to share this video along with some others coming up in the near future. If you're on Facebook and you're a DRE or law enforcement or associated with the DRE process, please look up Wisconsin Drug Recognition Experts. We like to share a lot of in-state drug trends and other data that's relevant to the DRE. So look us up and like us there. And lastly, hey, thanks for watching. My name is Nick Place, DRE number 11379, and stay safe out there.